This extraordinary inventor, scientist and artist was not only a genius, but also a little bit weird. Not weirder than Weird Al or Kanye West. Just old guy weird. He was a man who lived long ago in the past, but whose ideas were way ahead of his time. If you are ready to be amazed, then get ready for an eye-opening journey into the life of a true eccentric genius, Leonardo da Vinci. But first, how did he paint the Mona Lisa? The process behind one of the world's most famous paintings is a mystery that has intrigued art historians for centuries. Newly uncovered documents shed light on how Leonardo da Vinci created the Mona Lisa, revealing an innovative technique that may have contributed to its enduring popularity. According to an art historian, Leonardo da Vinci followed a three-stage process to paint the Mona Lisa, using a revolutionary technique called sfumato. The technique involved painting the background and midtones first, then adding the highlights and shadows last, creating a soft, smoky effect that gives the painting its depth and realism. Art historians have long debated how Leonardo da Vinci achieved this effect, but these newly discovered documents suggest that he used a combination of sfumato and optical mixtures to create the illusion of light and shadow. This process allowed him to capture the subtle nuances of Mona Lisa's expression and the play of light on her face, giving the painting its lifelike quality. Did you know that Leonardo da Vinci syndrome is a real thing? It refers to a rare condition in which a person experiences uncontrollable urges to bite and chew on non-nutritive substances such as ice, dirt, hair, paper, and paint chips. In fact, the great polymath himself was believed to have suffered from it. This strange eating disorder can be caused by a number of factors, including stress, anxiety, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and even vitamin deficiencies. But whatever the cause, it's clear that Leonardo da Vinci wasn't the only one who experienced these cravings. How many of you are curious about Da Vinci's personal relationships? Well, there's good news for you because we've got some intriguing details to share. Let's start with the artist formerly known as the most beautiful woman in the world, Cecilia Gallerani. She captured the heart of the famous polymath, who was 27 years her senior. Their romance resulted in a son named Andrea, whom Leonardo raised as his godson. But that's not all. Leonardo had another rumored romantic partner, Francesco Melzi, who joined him at the age of 15 and became his apprentice. Some believe they may have had a romantic relationship, but it's unclear if it was purely platonic. We do know that Melzi accompanied Leonardo during his later years and even inherited some of his wealth after his death. Lastly, we can't forget about Leonardo's unusual pet, a baby wolf named Ebotino. Yes, you heard that right. A wolf. Leonardo took care of the wolf cub as if it were his own child, bottle feeding it and keeping it on a leash when he traveled. Now, that's what we call a wild pet. So, there you have it, a glimpse into the intriguing personal life of the one and only Leonardo da Vinci. Welcome to the channel. Today, we'll take you through the most bizarre stories about Leonardo da Vinci's mind-boggling ideas. These theories will leave you wondering whether he was a genius or just plain weird. He had an unusual fascination with rocks and minerals. We're not saying he liked to be stoned, but rather, Leonardo da Vinci was a true Renaissance man, excelling in various fields from art to science and engineering. But one of his lesser-known interests was in rocks and minerals. He was fascinated by their composition, texture and formation, and even went so far as to grind them into powder to study their makeup more closely. He kept a collection of over 300 specimens, which he categorized based on their characteristics such as hardness, color, and luster. For example, he classified rocks like emeralds and rubies as precious stones due to their beauty and rarity. Meanwhile, he considered other materials like marble and limestone as valuable resources for construction and sculpture. Even in his famous painting, The Last Supper, he depicted an array of colorful minerals, showcasing his lifelong passion for these natural wonders. Although seemingly random, Da Vinci's interest in rocks and minerals likely stemmed from his belief that understanding nature as building blocks was essential to creating realistic art and scientific eye. Inventions. Now, let us move on to our next point and explore more of Da Vinci's peculiar interests and ideas. But before we do, don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying this video so far. He studied under the famous sculptor and painter Andrea del Verrocchio. When Leonardo da Vinci was just 15 years old, he became the apprentice of Andrea del Verrocchio, one of the most famous sculptors and painters of the time. Under Verrocchio's guidance, Leonardo honed his artistic skills and learned the techniques that would later make him a master. However, their relationship was not without its challenges. According to legend, Leonardo's perfectionism often led to clashes with his teacher. Once, Leonardo was tasked with painting a small panel depicting an angel playing a flute. While Verrocchio was pleased with the painting, he felt that Leonardo had spent too much time on it. In a fit of rage, Verrocchio grabbed the canvas and tore off the angel's wings, believing that his student had become too enamored with his own artistry. Despite this setback, Leonardo went on to surpass his teacher's expectations and become one of the most celebrated artists of all time. This story highlights the complexities of the relationship between teacher and student and the challenges of living up to high expectations. Da Vinci's notebooks reveal that he was a firm believer in the power of imagination. He claimed that without imagination, there could be no art, no invention, and no progress in any field. For instance, in his notebook, he wrote, "Imagination is the beginning of all knowledge." Da Vinci also recognized the importance of imagination in problem solving. He believed that by harnessing the power of our minds, we could come up with innovative solutions to complex problems. In fact, many of his inventions and designs were born out of his vivid imagination. One of the most famous examples is the flying machine, which he designed based on his observations of birds and his understanding of aerodynamics. Similarly, his anatomical drawings and studies were the result of his imagination, allowing him to visualize and depict the inner workings of the human body. Did you know that Leonardo da Vinci was a vegetarian and animal rights activist? Born out of his deep love for animals, his views on vegetarianism and animal rights were quite progressive for his time. He believed that humans should not exploit or harm animals for their own benefit, and that they should instead strive to live in harmony with the natural world. He kept several pets throughout his life, including a dog, a horse, and an elephant, and he treated them with kindness and respect. Da Vinci's vegetarianism and animal rights activism were rooted in his belief that all living beings deserve to be treated with compassion and dignity. He was appalled by the way animals were treated in the meat and leather industries, and he refused to eat meat or wear leather products. Instead, he chose to eat a plant-based diet, and he made his own leather-free clothing. Leonardo da Vinci's commitment to animal rights was a reflection of his broader philosophy of environmentalism and sustainability. He believed that humans have a responsibility to protect and preserve the natural world for future generations, and that this includes the animals that inhabit it. He was also concerned about the impact of human activity on the environment, and he believed that reducing our consumption of animal products is an important step towards living more sustainably. Overall, Leonardo da Vinci's vegetarianism and animal rights activism were an important part of his legacy, and they continue to inspire people to fight for the rights of animals and the protection of the environment today. We hope you enjoyed learning more about the fascinating life and ideas of Leonardo da Vinci. If you want to learn more about history's greatest artists and geniuses, Subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. Don't miss out on future updates. Thanks for watching.